Good evening everyone, this is Anubhav from Dive to Learn and I am back with a new video. In this video I will discuss with you the Romantic Age or the Age of Return to Nature, which was from 1800 to 1850. First of all, let us discuss about the historical and literary features of the age. There was the European War between France and England. There was the French Revolution, the Reform Bill and Corn Laws were cause of discontent. There were fresh ideas, great range of subject, mature and sympathetic observation of nature, political and periodical writings were there, and there was influence of Germany and America. First of all, I am going to discuss with you a list of political and periodical writings which were there in the Romantic Age. There was the Morning Chronicle, the Morning Post, the Times, the Political Register, the Edinburgh Review, the Examiner, the Quarterly, the Blackwood Magazine, the London Magazine, and the Westminster Review. So let's begin. The major poets of the Romantic Age are William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Lord Byron, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and John Keats. So here on your screens is William Wordsworth, the renowned nature poet. So let us discuss about the life of William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was born in 1770 in Cockermouth district. His father, who was a lawyer, died when he was 13, a little child. His uncles did his schooling at Hawkshead near Lake Windermere. Wordsworth entered St. John College in 1787 and graduated in 1791. Wordsworth went to France in 1791, a significant event of his life, and stayed at Orleans for 1 year. He returned to Paris in 1792. He set up a cottage at Dorset when he returned to England and met Coleridge, and they both moved to Alfoxden House in Somersetshire. He also lived at Dove Cottage, Allen Bank, Grasmere Parsonage, and Rydal Mount until his death. On the death of Southey in 1843, he became the Poet Laureate. On 23rd April 1850, he died because of an inflammatory disease of the lungs called pleurisy at Rydal Mount and Gardens at the age of 80. When we discuss about the poetry, Wordsworth at university level composed some poetry which appeared in An Evening Walk, written in 1793, and the Descriptive Sketches, written in 1793. His lyrical ballads, a joint publication with Coleridge, was published in 1798 at Bristol. The major poems of the lyrical ballads are The Thorn, The Idiot, Simon Lee, Expostulation and Reply, Michael, Strange Fits of Passion I Have Known, Nothing, and many more. The Prelude was published after Wordsworth's death in 1850 in 9 books, very important from that point of view. In 1807, volumes, major works are Solitary Reaper, The Intimation Sword, Ode to Duty, and Resolution and Independence. His later works were Peter Bell, Yarrow Revisited, and a drama, The Borderers. Now let us discuss about his theory of poetry. In the preface to the second edition of the Lyrical Ballads, Wordsworth reveals a lofty conception of the art, which is the breath and final spirit of all knowledge, and which is the product of the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, taking its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. His dogma can be divided into two portions: subject and style. Wordsworth's preferences for incidents and situations from common life, humble and rustic life were generally chosen. Wordsworth's views on diction, mainly of little importance, and is a selection of real language of men in a state of vivid sensation. He summed up his views on poetic diction as there neither is nor can be any essential difference between the language of prose and metrical composition. He said that he was aware of the dangers inherent in the theory when he says, in some instances, feelings, even of the ludicrous, may have been given to my readers by expressions which appear to me tender and pathetic. Here on your screens is a friend of Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Now let us discuss about Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge was born in Devonshire and was the youngest of 13 children, and his father died when he was 9 years old. He went to Cambridge in 1791, where he was fined with revolutionary doctrines and enlisted himself in light dragoons, but military career lasted a few months. In 1796, he started a newspaper called The Watchman. Really important fact from that point of view. In 1799, he lived in Lake District, in 1800 at Keswick, and in 1803 enslaved to opium. In 1816, he entered the house of Mr. Gilman in Highgate. Therefore, he was also came to known as the Sage of Highgate. He finally shook himself free from opium, and after spending last few years of his life in content, died in 1834. Now let us talk about his poetry. His first book was Poems on Various Subjects, written in 1796, issued at Bristol. He, in collaboration with Wordsworth, produced lyrical ballads in 1798. 19 poems were by Wordsworth and 4 were contributed by him. Wordsworth and Coleridge discussed the poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner during their walks on Quantock Hills. Coleridge suggested the idea and Wordsworth provoked the detail. In 1797, Coleridge wrote first part of Christabel, and in 1800 the second part. The poem remained unfinished and got published in 1816. Kubla Khan was written in 1798, also remained unfinished. His famous odes are France, an Ode, and Dejection, an Ode. He wrote one play, Remorse, on the recommendation of Byron, which was accepted by members of the Drury Lane Theatre and produced in 1813. Now let us discuss about the prose. Biographia Literaria is his most valuable prose work. It pretends to record his literary upbringing. He analyzes the theory of Wordsworth in masterly fashion. In 1796, he started The Watchman, which ran to only 10 issues. In 1809, when he started to live in the Lake District, he started The Friend. In 1817, came out his Sibylline Leaves. He wrote Aids to Reflection, and his Table Talk was published in 1835, giving fleeting glimpses of a brilliant mind. Overall, his prose is scrappy, chaotic, and tentative. Now let us discuss about George Gordon Lord Byron. Byron was born in 1788. His father was a scoundrel and he was educated at Harvard and Cambridge. A malformity of his foot, which was called the clubbed foot, and his mother's foolishness affected Byron's temperament. He left the university in 1809. When his Childe Harold's Pilgrimage in 1812 came out, he became instantly famous. He married an heiress in 1815 who left him in 1816, and he left England. For the last 8 years, he wandered, visiting Switzerland, where he met Shelley, and later Italy. Finally, he went to Greece. He died of fever at Missolonghi in western Greece in 1824. His relationship with his mother got very hard since his father passed away. They had a love-hate relationship in which his mother called him a little devil and he referred to her as the widow. Even though their relationship was very tormentous, his mother was the only one who really understood him. Here we can see the picture of the clubbed foot which Byron was suffering from, and the shoe which Byron wore all of his life, especially for his clubbed foot. Now let us discuss about his poetry. Byron's first volume was The Hours of Idleness, published in 1807. He composed a satire in the style of Pope, calling it English Bards and Scotch Reviewers, written in 1809. Then followed the 2 years of travel in Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, written in 1812, in first two cantos. The hero is Byron himself. Byron produced poetic tales The Giaour, The Bride of Abydos in 1813, The Corsair and Lara in 1814, and The Siege of Corinth and Parisina in 1815. In 1816 came out the third canto, and in 1818 the fourth of the Childe Harold's Pilgrimage. His longer poems are The Prisoner of Chillon, written in 1816, and Mazeppa, written in 1819. His notable satirical poems are Beppo, 1818, The Vision of Judgment, 1822, targeted against Saudi, and Don Juan, the longest one, which was published in parts from 1819 to 1824. Now let us discuss about Byron's drama. Byron's dramas are all grand class tragedies composed in Italy. The chief are Manfred in 1817, Marino Faliero in 1821, The Two Foscari and Cain in 1821, and The Deformed Transformed in 1824, which is based on his own deformity. Manfred is an example of Gothic fiction, a closet drama having first-hand characters like Manfred, Camoes, Hunter, Manuel, Herman, spirits, witches, etc. Mariano Faliero, or The Doge of Venice, is 5-act tragedy set in Venice. The Two Foscari is a historical tragedy which has only one female character, Marina. Now let us discuss about P.V. Shelley. Shelley was born in 1792 in Sussex. While he was at the university, he wrote The Necessity of Atheism, which caused him to be expelled from Oxford. In 1816, his first wife committed suicide. He married the daughter of William Godwin and settled in Italy. The romantic poet P.V. Shelley died on 8th July 1822 at the age of 29 when his boat went down in the sudden storm off the coast of Gulf of Spezia at Larisi, Italy. His first notable work is Queen Mab, written in 1813. Alastor, or The Spirit of Solitude, written in 1816, followed, a kind of a spiritual autobiography in which the hero portrays Shelley himself. After this came Leon and Shitna in 1817. In 1818 came the revolt of Islam. Then Shelley left for Italy, where he wrote Prometheus Unbound, the greatest of his works, in 1820. Shelley also wrote a formal drama called The Cenci in 1819, frequently asked in NET exam. His famous poems are Julian and Medello in 1818, The Mask of Anarchy, written in 1819, published 1832, The Witch of Atlas, written in 1820, published 1824, and Epiphysion, written in 1821. Adonias is a lament for the death of Keats. He also wrote some sweet English lyrics. To mention are To a Skylark, The Cloud, Tonight, and most remarkable, Ode to the West Wind. Now let us discuss about the prose of P.V. Shelley. The prose of P.V. Shelley begins with two boyish romances, Just Rosie and Saint Irwin. Just Rosie is a Gothic novel, a Gothic romance, whereas Saint Irwin is a Rosicrucian romance. The only other prose work which is worth mention is a short essay, The Defense of Poetry, written in 1821 and published in 1840. This work contains Shelley's famous claim that poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. I repeat, this work contains Shelley's famous claim that poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. I repeated it because it was really important, and this quotation is frequently asked in NET exam, that who called poets the unacknowledged legislators of the world, and in which work. Now let us discuss about John Keats. Keats was born in London. He met Leigh Hunt in 1816. In 1817, he published his first volume of verse. His second volume was published in 1818 and was brutally assailed by the Quarterly Review and by Blackwood's magazine. In 1820, he went to Rome, where he died at the age of 25. His earliest work is Imitation of Spenser. His poems include On First Looking into Chapman's Homer, dedicated to Leigh Hunt, very important from that point of view. His next volume was Endymion, based partly on Drayton's The Man in the Moon and Fletcher's The Faithful Shepherdess. Hyperion is modelled upon Paradise Lost. The Eve of St. Agnes is a tale of elopement of two lovers. The Eve of St. Mark was unfinished. I repeat, The Eve of St. Mark was unfinished. Lamia, written in 1819, was taken from Burton's Anatomy of Melancholy. In 1819, he tried to refashion his Hyperion as The Fall of Hyperion, a Dream. His greatest odes are To a Nightingale, On a Grecian Urn, To Psyche, On Melancholy, and To Autumn. His famous short poems is La Belle Dame Sans Merci. In 1819, Keats collaborated in a drama, Otho the Great, and began another, King Stephen, which was incomplete. Now let us discuss about the minor poets. The minor poets are Robert Southey, Thomas More, Leigh Hunt, Samuel Rogers, Thomas Campbell, James Hogg, Felicia Hermans, Ebenezer Elliott, James and Horace Smith, John Clare, W.C. Bryant, and Thomas Hood. Robert Southey was awarded the Poet Laureate in 1813. His poems include Joan of Arc, Thalaba the Destroyer, The Curse of Kehema, and Roderick, the Last of the Goths. The shorter pieces are The Inchcape Rock, The Battle of Blenheim, and The Holy Tree. His prose works are The History of Brazil, The Life of Nelson, and The History of the Peninsular War. Thomas More's known poems are The Irish Melodies, Lalla Rookh, and Oriental Romance. His satires are political, namely The Twopenny Postbag, The First Family in Paris, and The Fables for the Holy Alliance. His only prose work is his Life of Byron, written in 1830. Leigh Hunt was born in Middlesex and was educated at Christ's Hospital, the famous hospital where Charles Lamb was also educated. He was famous for The Examiner, which was a strong critique of the government, and Hunt was jailed for 2 years for that. He started another journal, The Indicator, in 1819. His best known poem is The Story of Rimini, which is an Italian tale modelled on Dante. His shorter pieces are The Nile and Abu Ben Adhem are his well-known sonnets. His prose work consists of journalistic matter. He wrote his only novel, Sir Ralph Fisher, and a readable book on London, The Town. Rogers is remembered for his 4 books, The Pleasure of Memory in 1792, Columbus in 1812, Jacqueline in 1814, and Italy in 1822. Thomas Campbell is known for his Pleasures of Hope, written in 1799, and Gertrude of Wyoming, written in 1809. He was the editor of the New Monthly magazine from 1820 to 1830. He is also famous for The Pilgrims of Clacknoe in 1842, Ye Mariners of England, and The Battle of the Baltic which are war songs. Hogg is also called as the Ettrick Shepherd. He is famous for his three works: The Queen's Wake, written in 1813, The Forest Minstrel, written in 1810, and The Brownie of Bodsbeck, a prose tale. Hermans was known for her lyrics, such as The Homes of England, The Graves of a Household, and The Landing of the Pilgrim Fathers in New England. Ebenezer Elliott is famous as the Cornlaw Rhymer because his best book is Cornlaw Rhymes, written in 1828. James and Horace Smith were two brothers famous for rejected addresses. There is a famous incident when the Drury Lane Theatre was burnt down and rebuilt. The management offered a prize for the best poem to be recited under the opening night. The Smiths presented parodies of the notable poets of all times and won the prize. John Clare is famous for poems descriptive of rural life and scenery, The Village Minstrel, The Shepherd's Calendar, and the Rural Muse. His poems deal with rustic themes and are quite charming. W.C. Bryant is famous for The Embargo, Thanatopsis, a poetical meditation on death, and The Ages. Hood's famous works are Hero and Leander, The Two Swans, The Plea of Midsummer Fairies, Whims and Oddities, The Comic Annual, Up the Rhine, Whimsicalities, The Bridge of Sighs, and The Haunted House. We are now on Play Store. The Dare to Learn app is out on Play Store. You can download it from Play Store and Dare to Learn. That brings us to the end of this lecture. Thank you.